Happy birthday, ThinkPad!
Hello and welcome to PC Mag's One Cool Thing, and happy birthday to the Lenovo ThinkPad. John, we have here the 30th anniversary edition. It's been a long time the ThinkPad's been around. If you don't use one every day, you probably at least know it. You've seen it. The little eraser head trackpad is infamous. And everyone's seen a ThinkPad, a pretty classic business laptop.
Yeah, so this came sort of out of nowhere, to be honest. We did review a 25th anniversary ThinkPad 5 years ago, and Lenovo contacted us a week or so ago saying, hey, there's a 30th anniversary ThinkPad.
Time flies.
Yep. Yeah, tell me about it. So the 25th anniversary one we looked at was not a ThinkPad Carbon, however. As I understand it, what's in this box is a ThinkPad Carbon 30th anniversary edition.
Which, as a separate laptop, we love. The X1 Carbon, rave reviews from PC Mag, the last edition that came out, one of their best laptops. Super slim, really nice. I think ThinkPads have probably come a long way in terms of the size and design, and that's what they've branded as the 30th anniversary edition. So there's a couple unique touches. We're going to unbox it and show it and open it up for you. But yeah, there's a couple different, I don't know how drastically different the design is, but some nice touches to denote that this is both a special edition and a 30th anniversary edition. So,
yeah, well, one thing I should point out is that the Carbon's not 30 years old. The ThinkPad brand is 30 years old. Yeah, we were doing a little bit of homework before this and realized the Carbon is actually around 10 years old. So 2012 was the first Carbon, 2011, they're about a little hazy on what the first Carbon was. But Carbon is only a third of that, but was, since Lenovo acquired the ThinkPad brand from IBM, back in 2005, the Carbon was introduced after that, but it's getting the 30th anniversary
It is the chosen model to represent the ThinkPad evolution.
Right, and given that we gave it 5 stars, actually, the last time we reviewed it earlier this year, I couldn't think of a better machine in their line to represent it.
Yeah, clearly they agree.
All right, so we have this box here. Let's prop it up for the camera a bit there. We've got a band on there that we're going to slip off, and the enclosure is not the usual ThinkPad material.
Yeah, this is a bamboo and sugarcane, which I think we saw recently in another of their products. Maybe it was the X1 Fold, because I think it's compostable, just a little greener, and that box is present here.
Okay, so let's see. So that's what we got inside here. Where's the compost bin?
Yeah, I'll be right back.
There we go. So taking the box out there, we've got a bunch of accessories in there.
I see colors, I see replacements. We'll get to all that.
All right.
First, the laptop itself.
All right, let's try peeling off the paper here.
So we can rebox the unbox.
Right. I mean, admittedly, as you can tell from the paper, we did actually peek inside and take a look at this before.
They're not supposed to know.
Ah, there we go. So a little bit of dust there. So the ThinkPad logo, let me turn this the right side up for you.
A throwback, I believe. This is a, I think they've drained the color since out of this logo, but it is clearly back here in both this sticker set and in the actual logo itself on the laptop, which is kind of fun.
Right.
I think that's not really going with today's more minimal design trends of less multicolor. Yeah. This is definitely looks from a bygone era of branding, but it's kind of fun to see it back.
Yeah, so it's funny because when this was pitched to us by Lenovo, they said it comes with an RGB logo, red, green, and blue, and I read that as an RGB light up, sort of, glowing logo. But
as you've come to expect in 2022, everything is RGB.
Yeah, RGB kind of has a connotation, right? But this is literally just red, green, and blue. So that's on the lid. You can see the usual sort of carbon texture or visual texture. It doesn't actually feel as textured as it looks. And let's open up the machine over here. Okay. So we're going to start it up. You'll notice on the power button there's a fingerprint sticker. I'm going to peel that off.
Built-in feature letting you know the fingerprint scanner's there. And I think design-wise and feature set-wise, other than the couple flourishes to denote that it is a special edition, it is the same feature set and component options as the X1 Carbon non-anniversary edition. Right,
so let's put it down over here. I'm just firing it up, I believe.
So what's some of the fun things that jump out to you immediately? I see the color logo is replicated here on the interior as well, which is fun.
Right. Yeah, otherwise you have to kind of look pretty closely to see the difference between this and a standard X1 Carbon. Over here by the FN key in the lower left, we've got the 30th anniversary edition denoted on the deck.
Going pretty minimal with the branding.
Right, and we'll get into it in a moment once the machine starts up here. Let me just fire up the desktop. There we go. We're going to tilt up the machine here a little bit. In the hinge, you'll notice there's a small number etched in there. So this is a limited edition of 5,000 units.
It's, according to the hinge.
According to the hinge, right. The hinge don't lie, right? So if you take a look at the hinge over there, we actually have model, let's see,
What's our lottery number?
2806. Play that tonight.
I'm gonna play that.
Yeah, definitely. So we have 2806. So looking at the unit itself, it's actually pretty similar to the X1 that we looked at earlier this year, but just a few sort of collector's items, so to speak, like labels and flags on it. There is one thing, though, that you can customize on here, which, Matt, you might want to get into in the box there.
Yeah, so the box here has a couple different eraser heads, obviously to match the, calling them eraser heads. It's of course, to replace this little track point option, which is really a signature of the ThinkPad brand. That used to be a really innovative thing. It's kind of stuck around. I don't know if you've probably been a long time legacy user of ThinkPads, you're probably second nature to go reach for that, but not most of the laptops, don't have that option. So we have here, I'll bring them all out to match the branding on the logo. We have a green, red, and blue. It's as simple as pulling this off. No technical know-how or tools really required. This bottom on this is square, and it goes kind of right back on top of the eraser head spot here.
I do like how you
have to line up the square with the square, just a little hard from upside down. I'm not
there
gonna lie. There we go.
I do like how we do have two reds, though, because it appears that them expecting you to swap things in and out. The classic red is somebody's going to get lost, right? If you want to have
make sure you have another copy of that, because it is the default. As you can even see from the ThinkPad logo itself, the eye has remained the red dot because of that feature. So.
Right. Yeah, so that's really the main sort of physically customizable difference here. I mean, very minor thing, but those of you who buy ThinkPads, may well be loyalists to the trackpad.
Kind of fun if you're in the market for a new ThinkPad at the time this happens to come out and you're a big fan. Collector's item here. They definitely got a little more minimal with it. It's not making a huge deal. There's no big lid wrapper. It says 30th or anything that's super over the top, because it is still. I mean, it's still a business laptop line, right? Like, this is still for professional users. You don't want it to be like too multicolor and crazy. So. Yeah, they've clearly stuck with that concept.
Right. So yeah, this is being sold along with the X1 Carbon on Lenovo's page as the 30th anniversary edition, and it looks like the components haven't really varied much from the other options that you can get for a non-30th anniversary edition.
Yeah,
correct?
I think our review, or the base and the review edition were 1260p, and this has a 1270p processor in it, I believe. So, I mean, it's rough. It's all the same components as far as the Gen 10 version of the X1 Carbon, just the special fancy edition with the extra aesthetic on it. Right,
fair enough. And we were looking at the pricing before we started up this video, and it was kind of a little bit wishy-washy in that Lenovo oftentimes has sales on their machines, and given the day that you look at their site, you might find something for significantly higher or lower than base price, or I should say base price or significantly lower.
Right, because the listed price is in the 3,000s, but it was on sale currently for 1,800 when we happened to look at this for this video. So who knows what it'll look like in another day or next week. But that's a pretty wide range of a discount. It said 45% off, but that just might be normally what you can kind of find it for. Right. So if you're in the market and you are a big ThinkPad fan, this would be maybe the Gen 10 model to get.
Right, yeah. I mean, and the other stuff on here we've seen before. I'm just going to move the little nubbins over here. We have I'm going to take the sticker off up here, but there's the camera slider. So you can move the camera to privacy mode, and you get a little red dot there. Oh, another red dot. To indicate that the camera's off. In terms of the ports around the side, let's just do a quick rotation here. We've got a full-size HDMI. We've got a straight USB-A, and then two USB-C ports, which I am looking at up close here. One is used for power, and the other is charged for charging other devices while the system is off. Matt, maybe you could take a quick look at the specs over there. I don't know if they're Thunderbolt 3 or 4 on this unit, but that would probably be an important detail to know.
Yes, also the display, 4K. It's a 4K adjacent while I'm looking this up. I don't see the connectivity listed on this for some reason. Okay. But yeah, not sure why.
Yeah,
not on the site here. But either way, the screen is 4K. That's a big draw. Again, we gave the standard version of this laptop a 5-star review, so this is one of the best in recent times. It's probably the best X1 Carbon we've seen, and it's a really good all-around laptop. It offers those same specs. I think the base is 16 gigs and the 512 gigabyte SSD. I'm not sure what our exact review configuration of this of the special edition is, but those are the options you can find in the general laptop, and those all carry over here. So.
Right. Yeah, actually, to roll back to the display discussion, so this is 3840 by 2400. So
Yes.
it's interesting that for the last year or so, we've been seeing machines moving to 3:2 aspect ratios from 16:9, and now this is not that. It's neither of those.
16:10, we're seeing often, I know the Surface devices use 3:2, that's a more of a square. A lot of these ultra portable laptops are doing 16:10 because it gives you that much more little extra height. And I have been increasingly I've been describing that as increasingly common 16:10, but I think that might end up replacing 16:9 if it keeps going at this pace.
Right.
We're seeing a lot of laptops because it gives you pretty much in the same footprint a little extra height and a little more screen real estate. So the traditional resolutions you're not that you're used to, like 1080p being 1920 by 1080, those are becoming slightly different in the 16:10 version. So I'm not sure how long those like standard resolutions, so to speak, are going to stay standard.
Yep. Yeah. Fully understood. Yeah. So in terms of this machine, it's really more if you're sort of a ThinkPad loyalist, you want to have something that is going to be limited and a collector's item of sorts, and want to be able to sort of have bragging rights, or you just want to change your track point according to your mood.
Right.
Are you in a blue or a green or a red mood today? So
It's like a mood ring.
yeah, there you go. So there we have it. This is the 30th anniversary ThinkPad X1 Carbon Gen 10, available now if you're so inclined. And taking a quick look around it, you probably have to point out to someone that it's a different edition.
Yeah,
but
you're
you'll
going
know.
to read over your shoulder that it says 30th anniversary edition in relatively small print. But anyone who's been around will also recognize the older branding. I think on the corner, the
Right.
colors are back. So a little nod for the enthusiasts out there.
Right. Yes, but most importantly, you'll know.
But you'll know. Every
know.
time you fire it up and open it up, you'll know.
You'll know. Right. So yes, I guess how do we conclude here? I guess we could.
We got to wish it a happy birthday.
Right.
The only way we know how.
Right.
Song.
Right. So
3,
1,
2,
2, 3.
Happy birthday.